This is not an ordinary iPhone case. By installing it, there are hundreds of new ways you can use your iPhone. It's from BitmoLab, who's kindly offered to sponsor us today. I've been testing it for the last few weeks and it's been really fun. Things like being able to access ChatGPT instantly, creating a new reminder, and taking a note from anywhere. There are lots of other things you can do with it, so let's have a look. So this is what the case looks like. I quite like this retro but futuristic design. It kind of looks like a transparent record player, which I think is really cool. And it also reminds me of Nothing phone with this transparent back. I wanted something similar for my iPhone, so I got a case that has a similar look, but it's just a sticker you put on the back of your iPhone, so it looked a little bit cheap, to be honest, and I didn't like it. Whereas this case actually has a depth to it, and you can see there's actually things inside the case that helps achieve that look that I wanted. This is also MagSafe compatible, and I really appreciate that because I like to charge my phone wirelessly and use some MagSafe accessories. Anyway, the best thing about this case is not the design, but it's this little button on the side. This is the bank button that adds so much more functionality to your iPhone. If you already have an iPhone 15, you have the action button on the left side of your iPhone. You can customize this button to do different things, like launch Siri, the Note app, or whatever you want. For me, it's a shortcut to launch the camera. The bank button is kind of like that, but it's more customization. Unlike the action button, you can have up to 3 different actions with this button. One for pressing the button once, one for double pressing, and one for holding. To be honest, I don't know why Apple didn't do this. It would have made the action button a lot better. Anyway, let me show you what you can do with the bank button. So probably the one I find most useful is this quick access to Perplexity, which is an AI search engine app. Whenever I have to search for something or have a question, I can just tap the button and enter a query. It works really fast, and I love how I can just get the answers anywhere on my phone without leaving the current screen. Alternatively, you could simply use the button to launch Safari, Chrome, or whatever browser you use, so you can search for something fast. It depends on your preferences. And another one I use quite often is to create a quick reminder. I forget things very easily, so I need to get them out of my head and onto my phone as quickly as possible. So I have it set up so that when I press the button twice, it lets me jot down things and save them to the reminder app. Then I can also pick the date, time, or even place to be reminded. What's cool is that I can use this shortcut to save the URL of a website that I want to remember too. It's just a really easy way to save things. But even if you don't use the iPhone's default reminder app, you can change it to your favorite to-do app. For example, I usually use this app called Amplenote for managing my to-dos. So I can just choose one of its shortcuts from the library and add it to the bank button. It doesn't have to be a to-do though. If you want to create a new note or memo quickly, just find a shortcut from your Note app and assign to the button. This should help you not lose important ideas. The third one I use on my bank button is to block distracting apps. When I hold the button for a few seconds, it automatically blocks all the distracting apps like Instagram, X, Facebook, and this feels much easier than opening the app and then starting a focus session. Instead, I can just press the button and get to work. You can use this for a focus timer app too. Rather than blocking apps, you can use a Pomodoro timer so you know when to take a break and when to keep working. Some to-do apps like TickTick come with a pre-made Pomodoro timer shortcut you can use right away. Or you could use apps like Forest. So these are the shortcuts I use on my bank button. However, as you saw, there are tons of other options available. You could simply use it to launch your favorite app, such as the weather app or the calculator. The calendar is my personal favorite because I can just press the button and enter my appointment or event details. Fantastical is my favorite calendar app for iOS. They have lots of useful shortcuts such as showing today's schedule, tasks, and creating a new event. If you use certain phone functions often, like the flashlight, it can be really useful to have a quick access to them. Or you could do a little more than that, like opening Spotify and then playing a specific playlist. I like this one too, because this is something I do very often, and being able to skip the whole process of getting to the playlist is really helpful. But it doesn't have to be Spotify. You can use it to play focus music or sleep music from other apps if you prefer. So those are my favorite, but you can find so many more options on their website where they curate their best shortcuts for the bank case. Also, you can find more on the Shortcuts app. Finally, I just wanted to show you how to install this case, but it's super simple. You just have to hold down the bank button to connect it to your iPhone. Now, once it's connected, head to Settings and find Accessibility and Touch. Here you want to turn on Assistive Touch. Then go to Find Devices and tap Bang Case. Now you just need to press the Bang button to register it. Finally, you can browse the available shortcuts and choose the action you want for single press, double press, and holding down. If you can't find what you want, you can find more from the app or from the internet, or you can create your own if you like. By the way, when you enable Assistive Touch, this little button is going to always be on your screen, which is a little bit annoying, so you can turn it off by disabling the Always Show menu option. Alright, so that's how you set it up. I was glad it wasn't complicated and didn't require any app, but there were some other concerns when I first saw this case. One of them was about the batteries of both the case and the iPhone. Since it requires connection via Bluetooth, the case has a battery in it, which made me worried about how long the battery lasts. If it needs to be charged every day, I didn't want to use it at all, but it turns out it can last for a month after a full charge. I was really happy about that. Plus, charging it is very fast and easy. But what about the iPhone battery? Because it has to have Bluetooth on all the time. Well, so far it hasn't had much effect on the battery of my iPhone. After a full day of use, I usually have around 35% left, which I think is pretty good. Also, I've always kept Bluetooth on anyway because I use an Apple Watch, so adding this case didn't change things much for me, including the battery life. Speaking of the case battery, another concern I had was the weight. If you had a battery in it, would the case be heavy? Because I don't like heavy cases and I don't want a chunky brick in my pocket all the time. But again, I think they did a really good job at making the case light and thin. Sure, it is just slightly heavier than typical iPhone cases, but it's completely negligible, and the pros of using this case outweighs the cons of adding a tiny bit of extra weight to your iPhone. Okay, overall, I'm quite happy with this case. Great design, great functionality, and great protection for an affordable price. I'd recommend this to anyone with a compatible iPhone. If you're interested, you can check it out from the link in the description. Okay, that's it for today, and thank you so much for watching till the end. I really appreciate it and your support. Cool, and see you in the next video. Bye.